For Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, I know, right? Yay! Here's what happened for you. Sorry. Talking out loud!
I know. I noticed. Where are we broadcasting from?
Down by Melio's. Where we've done that before.
Oh.
You know?
Like right in the street, or?
Yeah, we're going to be out in the street. I'm going to have that 100-foot cable. I'm going to run out and talk to people and all that stuff. I'll see if I can get a third person. Fun. Who would it be? Who would you want? Lisa's to die for.
Lisa's to die for?
Yeah, the Wolfster.
Who would be another fun person?
I figured I got a day that will live in infamy. You ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, guys. Nice to see you.
Who, me or Facebook land?
You.
Hello.
Hello. All right, Sue Ann Sullivan. Hello.
Who? Oh, somebody by that name is on?
She's on all the time.
Oh. Well, that's cool. And she's a loyal fan, huh?
One of my nursing buddies.
Aw.
608-575-6731. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show with Bill Baker and Morris Stanfield. Brought to you by the Baker Realty Group.
Welcome to the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show with your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm Bill Baker, your host, and you're listening to the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show right here on 103.5 WLSP The Sun. We're underwritten by those wonderful people at the Bank of Sun Prairie, the Baker Realty Group, and, of course, Wintrust Mortgage. Hey, this show, I want to just give you a little background on it. This show was created now in our seventh year, 7 years ago, to help you in the way of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. And Laura and I do what we can to get you all the information that you need so you can make all the wise decisions that you have to make when you're going to make the buying, selling, or investing in real estate. And so we've come up with different subjects each week, and hopefully it'll educate you in the way of following those processes. We don't have all the answers. Trust me, we don't. If we did, we'd be lying. But we can always get those answers and get you the information that's going to help you. And I love it. We both do. When we're out places and you come up to us and you say, hey, can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? Here a talk, there a talk, everybody a talk. I don't know.
I like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we love for you when you see us and you're sharing ideas. And today's idea is a discussion is going to be a good one. And it's about
They all are, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. We're going to talk about if you're not married and you buy a house together. There's the first one. The next one is you're not married and now your relationship is ending. What do you do? Mm-hmm. And so we're going to discuss those options with you and see if we can give you some insight on how to handle that. We're not attorneys. We don't play one on TV or anything like that.
Or on the radio.
Or the radio. And we won't be giving you any type of legal advice, but giving you some just some options to help guide you through the process. Mm-hmm. Now, this show would not be what it is if we didn't have the number one guest, the first guest to ever be on the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show, and she never left. Laura Stanfield from Wintrust Mortgage, the world's greatest mortgage banker.
Wow. Good morning. We'll leave it
in
at
the
that.
world.
We'll leave it at that.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah?
It is a beautiful Wednesday.
It is. It's always beautiful when you're here.
Oh.
You know, come on.
Isn't that nice?
I know. Hey, we got a couple of things happening this week that we got to talk about before we get into real estate.
Cornfest.
Cornfest, hello.
Tonight.
Where
Starts tonight.
Where are you going to be?
Well, I'm going to be helping you, I guess.
Us.
Broadcast. Yeah.
Well, we've done this before.
One other time.
Well, and then COVID hit.
That dang COVID.
I know.
Yeah.
That
But there
pandemic.
is no judging
Oh,
of
no.
floats anymore.
I know.
Why?
Well, we should have floats. No, people don't go out the way they used to.
I know.
We got to start putting an effort. We are
Like stuff in the back of a truck,
I
maybe.
know, yeah.
But like, yeah, we're in the days of the floats that
I
people
know,
design.
right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. Well, what happened to that? Literally, what happened?
The
I
lack
don't
of
understand.
desire, the leadership. You need leadership to get this stuff done.
So if somebody just said we're going to have a float contest,
Oh yeah,
then what would the prize be though to
Uh,
make people?
$1 million.
Yeah, that's not going to
3
happen.
years
Are
lunches.
you going to fund that?
Sure.
$1 million?
Sure, I got.
Not Monopoly money.
But
Nope, real
you
money.
always get me on the Monopoly money.
Right, see?
Damn it.
Okay, then no, nobody's
Come on.
going to do it.
Remember when you used to go to the kids' stores and you could buy money?
Buy money.
Yeah, you
Like
get that fake
candy
money. You get that fake money.
I don't think I ever did that.
I think it was next to like the fake cigarettes and fake cigars and
I
stuff.
might have been buying fake candy cigarettes.
Candy cigarettes.
Candy necklaces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the
That
bracelets.
probably stained my. I don't know. It's gross. Now that I think about it, it's disgusting. but-
Somebody came up with that idea, but you know.
Well, I liked it because
What about the candy bracelets where you had to eat them
I did
and then
that.
your wrist is all sticky
Oh, and
and
they used
stuff?
to have like the rings,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Ring pops too.
Yeah, big old diamond on there and
Right.
you suck your finger, your ring
How
finger.
many people walk around sucking? That's weird. It's
Well,
just weird.
Well, back in the 70s, they did that. And,
We did weird stuff.
We did. I
We
know.
did weird things to entertain ourselves because we didn't have technology.
This is true.
But we had fun.
Boy, we had a blast.
See?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Only us would we ever sit there and play with the slinky up and down, back and forth,
Uh-huh.
back and take it up the
Watch
steps
it
and
go
down the stairs.
Yeah,
man.
like hours. Wow. It's amazing. Yeah.
Hey, Alex Baker, glad that you're on. Eric Sullivan, thank you so much. Lynn, glad you're on also. Alex says, I miss Cornfest, and Jess wants to experience Cornfest. His
Yeah.
wife,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Oh, wife.
I
Doesn't
know.
that sound crazy?
I know. Hey, tomorrow night, something cool too.
What is tomorrow?
OMG.
I mean, the Cornfest thing begins.
We're wearing.
Football. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yes,
Go
she's
ahead.
such a
Go
football
ahead.
fan.
I'm not a
Man.
football fan.
Tomorrow night, Sun Prairie Cardinals
Go Cardinals!
versus Monona Grove.
Ooh. The very first East sports game, right?
No.
Being played?
No, we've been playing East for about 50 years, but you mean since the
Since the split.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and then on Friday night will be the West. The
Ah.
Wolves will take on
East goes
Madison La Follette.
Okay. When's the first game where they play each other?
September 16th,
Ooh.
a day that will live in infamy.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting game. I just, hope that everybody remains friends.
Oh, we will, because we all are #Sun Prairie Strong. Doesn't matter who's playing football; they'll hug each other afterwards.
Oh, we know that. I hope the boys, the kids feel that.
They do. We interviewed the kids here in the studio. Mike Powers and I will be doing the broadcast tomorrow night, live from Bank of Sun Prairie Stadium at Ashley Field. I always have to get that down. And we had a great conversation talking to the kids off camera.
Mm-hmm.
He said, when we're playing them, we're going to kick their butt, but afterwards we're still buddies. I thought that was pretty cool.
I hope so. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, me too.
We'll see.
Well, no, there's no C. It's no C.
No, I
Hey,
didn't say no see. I said will see.
I know.
hope so. I hope that's true.
join us tonight at 6 o'clock downtown. Get there early, 5 o'clock. You're going to need to come down and bring your lawn chairs.
Put your blanket down
But,
now.
Yeah, get out there, get it going. Laura and I will be set up right by Melio's. We'll have a table there and a long cord so I can run out and talk to people in the parade and
Do we have
harass them.
Cornfest shirts?
Well, I don't know. We should call
Oh,
somebody
we
who
should.
cares.
I know, right? Where do you get Cornfest shirts?
Chamber of Commerce.
Beans and aren't there some businesses around Sun Prairie selling them?
I don't know. They should just, because we're volunteers, they should be giving those. We're getting those for Lions, by the way.
Okay,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think it's cool.
Mhm.
It is. You want to talk real estate?
I think we should, because it's the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show.
I know, but we have
Right.
these are two big events in our city. I mean, Cornfest is the #1
People
event.
live and buy houses in Sun Prairie.
They
and,
do.
And yeah, they leave their homes and they come to the parade.
Yes.
Right? They go back home and stay
Yes.
only in their homes.
I was sad to see the stat came out that 80% of people living in Sun Prairie are not attending Cornfest.
Why?
It's a survey. You know, it's a survey.
I didn't take it.
Neither did I.
So my answer was
I'll be there.
yes.
I'll be parking cars.
I've always gone, other than, COVID weirdness.
Yeah,
but
frickin' COVID.
I've always gone. I love it.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
just weird, honestly, and I hope people remember that, because it's always Thursday night. But this year it's different.
I know.
It's Wednesday. It
I
is
know.
2 nights. So come.
No, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tonight's just the parade.
Yeah, I mean the parade is usually that's
And
the kickoff. On
but
Thursdays.
and after the parade, down at
Party on the square.
absolutely,
Yeah.
we'll be there. We'll be drinking beer, eating some food.
I won't be drinking.
You gave that up for a while, didn't you?
Just for a while.
I know, it's all right. That's all right. But seriously, folks, there's going to be music on the square. They've got some I can't remember the name of the bands right now, but they've got bands coming in, and there's going to be the Lions will be serving beer. There'll be food and just entertainment. So come on down after the parade, swing on down to Cannery Square, and take part in the kickoff of Cornfest. I think it's going to be a fun thing.
Hmm.
You know.
It will be. Of course, it's always fun. The parade is always fun. I don't know about the thing on the square. Is this the first year they've done that?
Yep, it is. It's gonna. After this, you and I are having lunch, and then I'm going to go set up a huge tent.
Oh.
Yes, with my our fellow Lions, Justin Wilson and Scott Singlebow, Ellingbow.
Elling?
Ellen. Well, it's got a G or no G?
That's what I don't remember.
All right, Scott, let us know, man. Let us
Sorry.
know. This
We'll
will
look
be-
it up.
I know.
We'll get it right.
Hey, what's going on in the world of mortgages? I mean, we see all these things happening in the press and all that. Has it affected interest rates, and where are we sitting?
Well, right now we're sitting fairly decent. I don't know. That's all relative, right? So we got down under 5.
Uh-huh.
I'm checking my phone to see what's going on so far today.
I know we were under 5.
Not great.
Not great.
It's not great. So
Okay.
far today, but that's the thing. The market's been really volatile. So what might be true right now could be different this afternoon, could be different tomorrow. So just don't panic about that. As we always say, find out what works best for you. Find out what it means for you, what your rate is. And that's something that we talked about before, but I don't know if people remember. It is a very specific thing to you anymore. Interest rates are not a one-size-fits-all. I think most people know that. But so you need to find out how your situation ties into what your interest rate would be, and are there ways to get the rate down? Your lender should be helping you with that.
Troy Thiel, you are hilarious. You are a troublemaker big time. He wants us to do a duet of medleys with Elton John and Kiki, Streisand and Diamond, Captain and Tennille. Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. What about Olivia and John?
Yes, that's
In honor
exactly
of
right.
Olivia.
I could do it.
I think
We
I
made
can do
out
it. I
under the dock. Oh. Favorite line of the whole thing. I
Oh
know.
my gosh, I just watched the movie again.
Oh, you did?
They're playing it because of her, but
Oh.
I was thinking as I was watching it, that is just a movie that never gets old.
That's
It is
true.
a classic. It will always be a classic, and I love it. Every time I watch it, I like singing along.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm not doing a duet though, not even for you, Troy.
What?
No,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not doing that.
I'll do it, Troy. Come on, man.
Give me a couple drinks.
Come
and
on,
maybe I will.
man.
Karaoke.
Let's do it. Hey, let's talk about this because there's two things we want to talk. There's two sides of it. Being single, buying, selling a house. That's number one. And then we want to talk about disclosure issues. Why is that real estate condition report so vital to the seller and to the buyer? And I'm going to show you some tricks on that to help you as a buyer. And just some clarification on some things too. So Laura and I've printed out some information. Laura's got it in front of her, and it's kind of scripted out a little bit. But I even have an actual real estate condition report. It's highlighted. We're going to go through some of them. I'll explain a little bit. I'll Spain it a little bit. I'm going to Spain it. All right. So here's one of the questions that we had that I got a call. A person called me, a parent called me, and their child their son and his girlfriend bought a house together, and now they are splitting up.
Uh-oh.
And he wants to figure out what to do. Do they buy each other out? What's going on with this? I said my first comment to them, and this happens, doesn't it?
It does happen.
You probably see it more than I do.
Mhm.
Well, we're probably about the same, actually.
Not a lot, but
No.
it happens. It's not uncommon.
Right. And so I'll do the back side of it first, then we'll go back and we'll tell you what you should do in that situation, because it's going to happen. There's going to be people that are out there that don't want to get married. The legal union, getting in there, saying I do, I will, I want to, or not maybes, but
No, there's no maybe.
there's no well, some of them are, because they do get out.
Well, in theory, you're supposed to be all in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hears you.
Mhm.
I hears you on this. Okay, so you've bought a house together. There's no agreement. You have no agreement in place, and now the relationship is over. So the first question is that I ask: are both parties on the deed? And if they are, now it's a little bit simpler. But there is some choices you can do. But I will tell you that the person that is leaving the relationship, or that wants out, or something like that, they can't just stop making payments.
No, please don't do that.
No,
oh
no,
my
no.
goodness, no. You'll ruin your credit.
But it puts the pressure on the other person also, because if you don't make that payment, if the
Yeah.
person leaving doesn't make the payment, and then the other party is not able to make the payment, remember, we're not attorneys. We don't practice as attorneys. We're not giving you legal advice. All this. You should always consult your attorney and all. Did you like that? That was pretty good.
You said that really fast.
Thank
like
you.
You rehearsed that almost.
Almost. I tried to.
Okay.
So you definitely want to talk to an attorney about this right away. But if one party stops making payments and the other person can't make payments or can't pay it in full, the person that's not paying is now injuring the other party. That's a huge suit, and that an attorney would lick their chops on that. So don't do that. You have to be civil as you can, in a heated situation. And what you need to do, first step would be buy out the other person. You may have to refinance. You will have to refinance your mortgage.
If the person is on the loan, assuming they are.
Right. If they're both on the loan and on the deed, refinance the mortgage. Do not take the person off the. Well, if you're the one that left, do not come off that deed until the other person has the other loan in place. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you get off the deed? You do a quitclaim deed, and you just sign off on it. Mm-hmm. And an attorney will do that for a few $100.
You could even do that yourself.
You can, yes, you can. That's
you
exactly
get
right.
A free form.
Yeah.
Take it
Keep
down.
going.
Get it recorded.
And they're done.
You're done.
And if you have a new mortgage and a new, and the other person's off the loan.
Well, if you refinance, if that's the plan, if you've agreed,
Right.
that I'm going to stay in it, you're not,
Yeah.
and then hopefully there's some sort of agreement, which I'm guessing you might get at, about equity division.
Right.
But the title company could even prepare the quitclaim.
Sure.
Of course, they're going to charge a fee to do it,
Right.
but they could do it if you feel better. Otherwise, you can do it on your own.
Right. And the whole thing about this is you were civil to each other when you got into the relationship. It wasn't all lust.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What do we know?
Well, I don't know.
We don't know.
What do we know?
And that's none of our business.
Okay,
really.
I'm sorry. I was going to go down that rabbit hole, but
You digress.
okay, I do.
Just kidding.
So do the best you can to work this out together.
It's like a divorce,
Yeah.
but not. Like
It is a divorce.
Yeah. Well, it is.
It is a divorce.
Not technically, but it is.
You're not going to be in a relationship anymore. So
And you own a very large asset together, and you're on a probably decent sized
Right.
loan together.
Exactly.
It has to be figured out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, here's what I want to say about this. I'm using a couple to do this, but let me give you a real live story that I can tell you, that I can share with you to show you why having your ducks in a row is important. My sister, Shay, was taking care of her mother. who my sister was a big radio person, St. Louis, Kansas City, New York, and she had to basically quit her job to go take care of her mom who had stage 4 cancer. And so Shay's name was on the property, but not on the loan. And the mother dies, and she is the one that's on the property, but the bank don't care. And Shay hadn't worked now during that time frame for about 2 years. So for her to get a loan was almost impossible. But she kept making the payments to the bank, but the bank was actually going through the foreclosure process.
So there must have been some payments missed, because otherwise they don't care.
They do, because there's a death clause on the mortgage.
But what would trigger that?
A certificate of death to the...
But who would give it to them? How would they know?
Well, she had to take over the bank accounts.
I don't know. That's rare.
I know.
Banks wouldn't normally know. As
Right.
long as you're paying, I don't think they care.
Right.
Just pay us.
Right, but because her name wasn't on the loan, they don't care. They're not going to give her information.
No.
They're not going to do anything for her.
Yeah.
And so basically it got foreclosed on.
After.
I know. Hoofda, eh?
Oofda.
But if you're a couple and you're gonna leave the relationship here, like I said, you got to do it in a nice way. You don't have to, but you'll benefit from it.
It's in your best interest.
Exactly.
To do it in a nice way.
Exactly.
Be equitable. If
You can do that.
Yeah.
Now, the equity part of this, what Laura was leading to here, is you have to come to an agreement on what the value of the property is. Now, how do you do that?
Well, you could get an appraisal.
An appraisal.
Yeah.
You have an appraisal done.
Yeah.
You call Bob Call and have him come out, or Craig. Don't
And it
don't
might
use
be
Craig.
around 500, something like that.
Yeah, Craig Kuchenbecker. You can use Bob Call. People like that. They'll come out. They'll give you a value of what the market value of the property is, and then you go from there. Now, so the first scenario was the one person stays, the other person leaves, the one person staying refinances at an agreed upon amount, and they cash out to the other person.
And the reason why you want to do that is, one, you want your name, if you're the one owning the house, you want your name only on
Yes.
the loan. Because some people might be like, well, but I locked in a 2% or a 3% rate. Why do I want to let that go? Can't I just let it slide? Well, you could, but that other person is on the loan, and honestly, I don't think the other person would want their name
No.
left on the loan.
Correct.
If they want to go buy a house or a car or whatever,
Correct.
it's still going to show up as their liability.
Correct.
And it's cleaner anyway.
Absolutely.
So you might end up with a higher rate.
Sure.
You might. But what kind of a difference does it really make?
Well,
I don't know. Find out.
it doesn't. Well, we get hooked to such material things, though. You know what I mean? Oh, I love my house. Oh, I can't see myself moving.
Well, I've said that.
Yeah, that's why I said
I
it.
do say that. I do love my house.
You do love your house. Man, you'd make a fortune off your house.
No, I
Your
love
house
it.
is like, it's beautiful.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
I love our neighborhood. I'm not going anywhere.
All
Just
right.
not doing it.
I know you're not.
I know.
So then the next thing is that you can't decide, neither party wants to stay in the house. That's an easy one. You
Really?
sell the house and you split the proceeds.
And it's a great time to sell.
Right, and then you've got to work out what the split of proceeds
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
And that depends on a lot of different variables. It could be the percentage you put down, or it's how you work
And
it out.
who put it down? Did one of you put down
Thank
payment?
you.
The other one did not?
There you go.
Yeah. And, I don't know. That can get really sticky, actually.
It could, yeah.
Did you put any money down? I don't know.
Sure.
But property appreciation, and if
Sure.
you split that, you're not married
Right,
in this case.
Right.
In this scenario.
Right.
If you're married, you have to split
Mhm.
50-50.
right,
But if you're not married,
Right.
it's really up to you guys and
Sure.
what you decide.
sure. And then the last situation is where you can't come to a decision, or you can't work it out. You have to go to court. And to go to court, it's called a petition suit, which you approach the judge. The judge is going to say to you, work it out. And if you can't work it out, he's going to order the household.
Yeah.
And so then you have a completely different
That
situation.
stinks.
And then the
Right.
judge will decide on it. He'll probably go 50-50. Here you go. Thank you very much. But you have to go through those steps. And it can be messy. as I've said to divorced families, which, by the way, I still have not finished the divorce book. I've got it almost done, and it's about how to handle your real estate in a divorce situation. I should have that done by the first of the year. I know it's been a lot of writing, but I've written, I've thrown it away. Anyway, so you got to work it out. Do the best that you can to work it out. Now,
the other thing to keep in mind, if you're refinancing, and you need to pull equity out, and you don't have the cash, like you need to pull it out of the equity of your property. You know, like if you have to buy the other party out.
Yes.
That's going to probably cost you a little bit higher interest rate, and depending on how much equity you currently have, how much money you put down initially, you may or may not be able to do it, because you have to have a certain amount of equity in your home to be able to cash out, as lenders call it. So there's a whole lot to this that you might not be thinking about.
Right.
And then I assume you're going to want to talk about then how to protect yourself from situations like this.
Exactly.
Nobody ever wants to think about, we
No.
could actually break up one day.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens.
Just be smart.
Says the guy
You're
married
gonna
3
thank
times.
yourself. You didn't have to bring that up, but
I did.
anyway, now it's out there.
Hey, you live with it or not.
Right. You've learned a lot.
I have.
Yes,
Hugh Chog, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Hugh's on here. Thanks.
Hi, Hugh.
So how do you prevent all this stuff? It's really just like a business transaction. You're going to have an agreement.
Kind of like a prenup.
Yes, it's kind of like a prenup. It's a partnership agreement, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
And so you and your party, and I've said this to so many of my couples that I've sold houses to, you need this agreement in place and in an enforceable format. And that means you may need to go to an attorney. You may need to have that taken in notarized.
I was going to say, at least
Right.
a notarized document. Yes.
And so, and what that document does for you is it's going to lay out the what ifs. What ifs. Now, I've had partnership agreements in business, and they're a blessing. I had a lift chair company that I owned with a guy, Dan Schmelzer, and he and I got at each other's throats, basically. We're disagreeing on do that, I don't like it. And so it was easy when we said, well, okay, let's just break this off, and here's Dan buy me out, and here's our agreement. And it's stipulated how to do that. Easy peasy.
I know somebody right now actually trying to get out of a partnership.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A personal
business partnership.
And there's no agreement,
they're
right?
doing it the right way. Doesn't sound like there was.
No.
And it was a couple of guys getting together saying, yeah, let's do this together.
Oh, yeah.
And then now it's not working.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It happens all over the place, personally and professionally. So you do have to protect yourself. Make sure you've got proper documentation in place.
Hey, Dan and I were buddies. Well, we still are buddies. We're just not as close as we used to be, but we went into this all excited about it. And I'm more, out there, flamboyant, blah, blah, blah. I was the face of... Flamboyant's a great word. I love that one. I'm going to use it twice today. Maybe 3 times.
Like you're on fire.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, so I'm on the golf course selling products, and he's doing the operations side of it. And so that was an issue for him. He wanted me more inside. I said, well, I can't sell when I'm inside. I got to be out there. I got to work
That's
at people.
actually a good mix, honestly. You want somebody out there, and then you want somebody who's good at the behind-the-scenes stuff, who maybe doesn't want to be out there.
Well, his thing was that people just didn't know that he really was one of the owners for Action Lift Chair. And so he got upset about it. That's all right. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
So anyway, we ended it. So going back to the whole real estate side of this, have an agreement that's going to spell out everything. What is your payment going to be? What percentage of the payment are you going to pay? And all the different outlines that you need to have for this. Insurance, who's paying for the insurance?
Taxes.
Utilities,
Just
taxes.
payments in general,
Lay it all out there.
Expenses.
And it's like a fence. A fence always keeps neighbors and friendly sometimes, unless the dog gets over into their yard. But
you have friendly neighbors that like dogs. That works out really well.
So you've got your utilities. Here's the thing I want you to know about. You really need to have, and why this partnership agreement is so important for you and real estate. So let's say that Laura and I are married, and we have that partnership agreement, and I cease to exist anymore. I know.
That's sad.
I fell out of my broadcast chair, and I am no more. Freak accident.
Yeah.
I'm gone. There's a
Okay.
death. And so the question is, so the house is owned by both of us. Can she still stay in the house? Because my estate's going to come in and go, hey, we own half the house.
Yeah, it depends on who's involved in your estate, right?
Right, exactly. So you need to iron these questions out. You have to address them now. And it may take an attorney, but believe me, $500 to do that is worth $1 million later.
So, yeah, you can draft an agreement
Right.
if you want and
Yes.
have it notarized.
Yes.
So, and I know you're not an attorney, but like, it's not gonna, is there a difference with how a judge may view a handwritten DIY agreement versus one done by an attorney, as long as it's signed and notarized and covers all the proper?
I think the judge will accept that as a kind of binding agreement. I do. I'm not an attorney. I'm not playing one right here. I'm not
We're
giving
not
legal
saying you
advice.
should do it on your
No.
own. Just, it's,
Right.
if money is an issue
Sure.
for you, then maybe you could.
Well, let me say this about that. If money's an issue, don't buy the house. If you're more worried about what it's going to cost to put an agreement in place today,
$500.
$500,
Things, yeah.
that's a huge investment towards the biggest investment in your life. Spend the $500 and get it done. Go see Tom Hebel and Gary Hebel. Let them take care of it. Whoever.
Or
But
some of you have Legal Shield.
oh yeah, Legal Shield's a good
That's
one.
something Legal Shield could help
Sure.
you draft, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on Legal Shield, but for the people who are out there, it's an idea.
Are we experts
for
on
it.
anything today?
Um,
Holy crap.
well, I'm an expert in mortgages and you're an expert in real estate, which
Yes.
is why we're on the real estate show.
Yes,
right?
while we're on the
We just
air.
have to be really careful about like accounting matters and
Yes.
legal matters
Yeah, all that.
and things that we are definitely not experts in.
All
But
those disclaimer things.
I know.
We should have somebody
CIY,
on the very beginning going. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, I swear. So to review this, if you're a couple and you're going to buy your first house together, or a house together, or a property together, whatever, have a partnership agreement. I think you can go online and find one.
Pretty sure you can find all these forms.
Yes.
Anything we're talking
Yeah, yeah.
about online. Yeah.
Have it notarized. That's the most
Yeah.
important thing, because a third party is going to go say, yep, you are the person you say you are. Yep, that is your signature.
And I see this question come up in the Sun Prairie feed sometimes,
Uh-huh.
and it just surprises me that people still don't know. But people don't know, where can I go if I need a notary?
Right. Bank.
Well, go to your bank,
Mhm.
and you can usually do that without a charge. So that's what people ask too. Like, how much is it? Notaries
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
don't charge for the most part.
Yeah, I tell them, if you go to a bank, the bank you do business with, and they want to charge you, change
Go
banks.
somewhere else.
Change banks.
Yeah, I mean, there's even I think I heard Andy Ayers.
Oh yeah, he'll do
He's
it.
a notary.
Yeah, he'll do it.
So yeah, there's lots of people around town. If you don't know and you need a notary, reach out to one of us or put it out on. I know it's out there.
Yeah.
Lots
And-
of options.
I dropped my paper.
I'll notice by
I
it.
play with it.
I'm playing with mine too. What's going on?
I don't know.
Why am I talking in Southern accent?
Because it feels good.
I guess.
Andy Ayers is at State Farm on Main Street. Andy and Matt Steinmetz, so you can always do that. I think
There's a lot of
yeah,
businesses
there's a lot
where
of
it's
businesses. that do it.
beneficial for them to have their notary.
Yep, that's
So,
true.
There's lots of options.
So be careful with that. That's it happens every day. We see it every day, and the
I
big.
don't see it every day. Thank God.
You don't?
No.
Couples buying houses together?
Oh, well that, but I thought you meant like these issues.
Oh, no, no,
When
no.
they break up.
No, but I just want to prevent them. That's the whole thing. And
Yeah.
a good agent will tell you to go draw a partnership agreement together
hmm
and have that in place.
Well, and a whole nother topic actually
Uh-huh.
is how people take title to properties.
Oh.
That's a whole nother
Yeah, we
subject.
can't do that
and
today.
that's a Peter Zaroff meeting.
That'd be a good one because.
Although he doesn't like to talk about it because he's giving legal advice.
Well, that's okay. He's a legal advice person. He's an attorney.
We're not paying him.
An attorney.
But like even I was surprised at that because I normally would see maybe 3 different ways that most people would choose to take title to a property. And I was just talking with Tori Shaw actually.
Oh, yeah.
He and Peter are going to do a presentation for the Realtors Association that I'm working with them on, and he said Peter said, I don't know, there's like a dozen different ways of taking title to a property. I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Even I didn't know that.
Oh, it's huge.
See, we're always learning.
We're learning. We're educated, I tell you.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyler, welcome to the show, buddy. One of my favorite hockey players, or former hockey. Are you still playing hockey? What used to be one of the
For
kids
Sun
I coached for
Prairie,
football. Huh?
Oh, cool.
Gazillion years ago.
Nope. You haven't been alive that long.
Well, almost a gazillion.
Okay.
So let's switch gears here. We got about 30 minutes left in the show, so I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the real estate condition report. I want to talk about the importance of this document that at times is just glanced over. And let's talk about two ways. One is the seller and one is the buyer, and what role it plays for you on here. And it's a long document, and it's 6 pages long.
It never used to be 6 pages, but
What?
then again, the contract didn't used to be as long as
Oh,
it
it's
is.
like 9 pages for a freaking contract. But this is I believe, in a listing, in a transaction, this is the most important document of all of them, is this real estate condition report, because there's a lot going on in here. One, it's going to protect you as a seller, or one, it's going to protect you as a buyer.
Yep.
And
Even
so-
lenders will look at those.
Oh, really?
We should be looking
We
at
should
them.
be, absolutely.
Because we want to head off. If we see something that we know, depending on the loan program, could be a problem, we don't know until the appraiser addresses it. But
Right.
it could be a real issue for lending.
And inspections also. That's the other thing. But you're only as good as the inspector that you use, too, as we know.
Appraisals are only worth what's currently going on today in the market.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. So let's talk about this for a second. It's called the Real Estate Condition Report. When you're selling a house, you are required by statute to provide knowledge of the house. If you've been living there
I was
or
gonna
have
say.
lived there,
Yeah.
you are required to give knowledge of what you actually know. Not what you think, what you actually know.
Just the facts, man.
Just the facts. Yeah, I love that. A little dragnet. Just the facts,
Like
ma'am.
I'm showing
Just the facts,
age.
ma'am. That's all right.
But if you have not lived in the property for how long?
Oh, that's a
Do
good
you
question.
not have to fill it out?
Well,
6 months or a
oh
year?
no. You still have. You have knowledge. So I'll give you an example.
I
So
don't think you have to, though,
Well,
because
yes,
I've
you
seen
do.
people exit out. I
Yeah,
haven't
they're
lived in
wrong.
the property for, I don't know, if it's 6 months.
here's if Peter's in my ear right now, he'd say, "When in doubt, disclose."
Yeah, well,
And-
always.
And so disclosing, by the way, is not a bad thing, and you're going to find that out here in a few minutes on this. But so what this does is this is a form that it really kind of provides awareness that the owner has notice or knowledge of certain things that are going on in the property. The seller is saying to you, "I know about this, and I'm telling you about it before you buy the house, or before you write an offer." He should be giving this to you before you write that offer, because you'll find out in a second. But in this form, defect. So the home inspector, you've heard Jim Bollinger come on here, and he's talked to us about defects. And a defect is really something that it's out there that's is a condition that would significantly
Impact.
the value of the property, or
Livability.
kind of impair what you want. The real definition. A defect means a condition that would have significant adverse effect on the value of the property, that would significantly impair the health or safety of future occupants. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate that. We're not taking calls today. The property, or that if not repaired, removed, or replaced, would significantly shorten or adversely affect the expected normal life of the premises. Every buyer knows this, because in the offer to purchase, there's a huge list of defects that you can look for in there, and it could be the roof, it could be basement, it could be foundation, there could be seepage, there could be bulges, there could be electrical problem, there could be plumbing, it could be something with a water heater, a water softener,
Windows.
swimming pool, windows. Oh my gosh, there's a huge list for this. So your home inspector is going to go out there looking for them, but the seller has the opportunity to disclose these items ahead of time. Now, a lot of people, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of people are concerned about filling out this document. This is the only document that a real estate agent cannot advise you on it. Right. We cannot advise you on this. We can't advise you on how to answer the questions on this. And the thing that you need to keep in mind in this is whoever who has occupied the property transferred is not required to complete it. Who has never occupied the property, they don't have to fill that out. But if you've occupied it, you do. You're a kid and there was a flood in it, you need to tell people, yeah, back in the 70s there was a flood in there. But so the owner represents that to the best of the owner's knowledge. And again, I get so many people that want to go, well, I think it is. I say, well, don't forget, you're doing with what you know and not what you don't know. And so let me give you an example on this one. Are you aware of defects in the electrical system? Well, they're not electricians. But I'll tell you, if you bought the house and it's a house from like 1895, you probably had a home inspection, and you may know if there's knob and tube in the house.
There usually is. Somewhere.
Somewhere. It may not be live.
No.
Now,
Maybe in the attic.
right. And so here's how sellers get caught sometimes, especially if you're working with me as your buyer agent. I go back and I do the history on the house, and I go back a listing the last time was up for sale.
Yeah.
And I pull up their real estate condition report and see what is said in that report.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
What if you're aware of things that were a potential defect when you bought the house, but since then, since you've lived in it, that has not been an issue?
You just have to address it. So water in the...
Do you say before
Yes.
I bought it, or you're only answering from the time you owned the property?
From the time you purchased it.
Okay. So
But if
could
you have
truthfully
knowledge,
say
you
of a
have,
previous?
yeah,
owner?
any knowledge. Like I said, Peter says, when in doubt, disclose. Disclose on this.
Okay.
So if you know the basement flooded and you move in there and you don't do anything about it, you know that basement's flooded, and so then you sell it and the basement floods, right? And then the neighbor comes over and says, God, that's the second time that's happened. And what do you mean it's the second time? Well, the previous owner was
Yeah.
there and it flooded before.
And that could be on the previous listing's real estate condition report, so
Correct.
it's out there.
Correct.
And you knew it because you saw it when
Correct.
you bought the home.
Correct. There you go. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. You got it.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of things in here that you're going to ask questions about. You're going to say, are you aware of defects in the basement or foundation? Get this one. This is the one that grabs people all the time, including cracks, seepage, and bulges. So the word that grabs people is cracks.
How
Now-
big does the crack have to be? How long?
Well,
How wide?
all you have to
Horizontal or
say,
vertical?
well, and our buddy Jim would say that concrete is designed to crack.
Yeah.
It's supposed to crack.
Most basements will have some
Correct.
cracks, depending on the, yeah.
So in the wording, in the report, you may put, basement has cracks in floor, no seepage has ever occurred. Something like that. During our time at the house. No
Yeah.
seepage has occurred during the time
You
in the
can say
house.
something like that, but
Right.
as a realtor, you cannot give them the language to
No.
put into the
I
real estate
cannot.
condition report.
Nope. And if you need to, talk to your attorney. Let him help you. They love to get into this stuff. They'll take $500 to help you with this. But how about this? An air filter can be a defect.
Huh?
Oh my gosh, you can't believe how many air filters are not changed. You pull it out and a cat comes out with it. It's got so much cat hair in
I
it.
don't think that's ever happened. Well,
Oh yes, it
the
has.
cat hair.
Oh, cat hair.
Okay, okay.
I mean, I wish Jim were here.
That's disgusting. That's such a simple. Should do a show on home maintenance. Just simple home maintenance things.
I don't
That's
think
so
we have enough
simple.
time. Right. Things like asbestos.
Ooh.
There's another one. Are you aware of any presence of asbestos or asbestos-containing materials on the property? In older homes, you may already have that because the previous owner said to you, the boiler pipes are wrapped in, or they're encapsulated. There's asbestos encapsulated wrap on the pipes.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that
unless the wrapping is compromised.
unless you mess with it.
Hmm.
Asbestos is fine till you mess with it. You fray it.
Yeah.
Fray. That's like your dog's
Fray.
name.
Freya.
Freya, yeah. If you fray it, and then there's a problem, and it can
Yeah.
really be an issue on this.
Yep.
So there's an entire list of items here. How about a storage tank? Oil storage tank.
Oh, yeah.
Underground storage tank.
Yep.
Now, if you live in the Maple Bluff area, I know of a lot of them. There's a lot of them. The basements have the tank still in there. Well, the cost to remove it is huge.
It's not being used.
It's not being
just
used.
there.
But there's stuff in it, maybe.
Interesting.
I know.
Mhm.
Who
And
took
what
it out?
would you say the cost is to remove it? Do
Ooh,
you know?
a couple of thousand, maybe more, depending on the layout of the house.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do in the meantime, trying to get it out of there?
Right. So they can't take the tank out by itself.
Can you drain it and leave it?
You can close it up, and there's a term for that, and I can't think of it right now.
Close it up works.
Yes, and you also have to fill the lines going into the tank.
There's a proper way
Yes.
to do everything.
So your oil tanks are normally filled from the outside, and people still use fuel oil and all that. And so, but if you have that tank and it's underground, you've got to report that you have the lines coming in, and so it's in there. But if you
An inspector will see it.
an inspector will say
Lenders
it.
don't see inspection reports, but
Right.
and I don't think the
Sure.
appraiser would call attention to it, but you
Right.
never know.
Having your property in a home, you're in a homeowners association, and this is outside of a condo. Westwind has a homeowners association. Liberty, where we live, we have a homeowners association. We pay $185 a year for them to clear the paths, not sidewalks, but paths. I know. Yeah, I know.
Like that goes in between
Yeah,
your
mhm,
properties,
yeah.
but not the actual
Yeah.
sidewalks
Nope.
on the outside.
Correct.
That's interesting.
You know what we do? So in the wintertime, so that the snow removal companies can't put it on our yard and destroy our yard and tear up the yards, we put the orange stakes in the edge of
I
our...
was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Because if they do that, then you can go after them on this.
If
So-
you got the orange stakes up
Yes.
and they dump snow on your yard,
They can't do it. There's no way they can do it.
so why can't they just push it straight out?
That's what they have to do.
Yeah.
Or if you have a yard that doesn't have the stakes, that snow's going in your yard. Trust me.
I
Trust-
didn't know that.
I know.
I should have known that. That makes sense.
Here's one that gets me. I can give you two examples of it. Are you aware of boundary or lot line disputes? You do know that. If you're a seller, you know there's a boundary encroachment or something that's going on out there. You have this. You definitely have one. I had one when I lived in Ratman Heights. Not I, but the Cleavers across the street had.
Literally the Cleavers?
Yeah.
Aww.
Yep, Helen and Fred.
Was Beaver there?
No, but they were always out
Grown up
looking
and
for
on
him.
his own? They were looking for him. Okay.
So what had happened was Helen had planted some trees, and she thought that was on her property line. Well, when the house next door went to sell, they decided to do a survey. And when they did, they found that the trees were on their property by 3 feet.
Uh-oh.
And so these trees were huge. She actually paid to have those
Oh!
they're bushes. What do you call it? Arborvitae or
Arborvitae.
Thank you. That word that I can't say.
Those aren't so bad.
No.
Like if you're talking about a tree with a stump, that's
Right.
like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right.
Ah.
And
That's a
so
lot.
she had them all moved.
Wow.
The other one that you need to be aware of is there's a part in here that talks about insurance claims. Have you filed an insurance claim in the last 5 years? Don't not answer that. If you have a new roof because of a hailstorm, say yes. Roof was replaced because of hailstorm. You're being upfront on this.
Your agent's going to know that anyway
Correct.
when you get your insurance.
Yes.
What
Well,
about-
maybe if they
They
run a
do.
report.
I think they all do.
No, I don't know about them.
Wow, the ones I've talked to say they do.
They must be good.
They are, or I wouldn't work with them.
Must be Matt Harms.
Well, Mark, I'm going to be quiet. Matt is good, but no, that's not me. Anyway, I've heard more than one, but anyway, when it comes to, what about the part on the real estate condition report that says, have you had any work done to the property?
And did you pull
get
a permit?
Yep. Yeah, what about that one?
That's an important one. And
Very.
I will tell you right now, before you get any work done, I would call the city of Sun Prairie and ask them, do I need a permit?
And the answer is probably going to be yes. You
I
need
know,
one for
I know.
a ceiling fan.
For $25, go do it.
I know.
But that
Yeah.
permit, but pulling that permit could save your butt in the long run. If
Yeah.
they buy the house and the house burns down, they go, well, it had faulty wiring in the ceiling fan, and that caused the fire which
Wasn't
burned the
wired
house
properly.
down. Right. So now you as the seller are on the hook for that.
But people don't want to do it because if it's a remodel,
Oh, they think it's
their
expensive.
taxes are going to go up.
Yes.
Well, it did happen to my neighbor. I know that.
Well, it shouldn't.
He said, in hindsight, I would not have gotten a permit. I just would have done it.
Yeah.
He was mad about how much his taxes went up.
Well, you know, I've had situations where they finished the basement and they didn't pull a permit, and they came down and had the inspector come in and look at it, and had to take half the walls down because the wiring was not up to code.
Yeah.
And guys decided to DIY it. Well, good luck with that. And so they didn't have to take the entire wall, but had to do half wall where all the electrical outlets were.
Well, then you have to still
Right.
put it back up, mud,
Right.
paint, whatever.
Right. The guy
So-
spent almost $1,000 doing that.
From a seller's point of view, from a listing agent point of view, you're talking to a seller and they say, yep, I did some work on my own.
Awesome.
I did not get a permit.
Okay.
What should I put here?
Well, we're going to have you reach out to the. You're going to say, you can wait and you don't have to complete that report right then. I mean, it's convenient to do that, and you want to do it before. You want the buyers to have it before they write an offer.
Mm-hmm.
But you could say, reach out to the building inspector,
yeah.
yep, and ask them how you want to handle this. Now, they may come out and just look at it.
It's not the first time they've heard it
No.
by a long shot.
No.
So don't think you're going to be
No.
judged. Don't
No.
think you're going to automatically get some kind of a fine.
Exactly.
I
They're not
think
fining
that-
you.
No, I don't think they want to do that.
No.
But they do want to be sure that it's done right.
Sure.
And there's a proper permit that's
Right.
on file and paid for. So as a buyer's agent then, you're looking at a real estate condition report and you see that somebody said, yep, I had work done, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
How do you then advise your clients?
If they would like to, they could call the city of Sun Prairie and say, hey, I understand some building occurred at this property. Was a permit pulled for that?
And what if they find out no?
Then they can come back and they now have possibly an adverse fact, maybe even a material adverse fact, because it could be a safety issue. Let's say if it's electrical, that if it's not wired correctly, that could be a safety issue. And so they have grounds to back out of the transaction. But if they had on the condition report that we did the improvement and we're in process of working with the city inspector to handle the situation, permit was not pulled, we're working on that now, and then they amend it later, which could be a brand new condition report, then they're covered. They're covered on there.
Okay.
The thing here's what I want to get to, because we have about 9 minutes left. Oh my God. Okay, 9 minutes left. Check this out, folks. Here's what I want you to know. As a seller, why you want to do this, why do you want to be complete in this, is because if it's on the condition report and then the home inspector agrees that that's a defect, the buyer cannot ask for that defect to be cured because you've already told them there is a defect there. Now, they can't give you notice to get out of the transaction. They can still negotiate by providing an amendment. So in other words, Laura says that the basement has flooded and I had Badger basement systems come in and put in a trenching system around the area. So then the home inspector comes in and goes, it still looks a little damp in here, and but that's all they say. So the choice you have at that point right there is to negotiate or to let it go, because you can't serve notice on a defect that's already been disclosed. Now, if something else has arisen from that, yes, you can. Okay? So these are just the steps. And this, again, it comes back to the knowledge of the real estate agent that you're working with. Mm-hmm. That's why I like to have a real estate condition report in place at the time of the listing, because if they write an offer and then you give them the condition report, you're out of luck. Now they can come back and give either an amendment to have you fix the drainage problem because they weren't aware of it prior to writing the offer, or they could give you notice of defect, and if you have the right to cure or not to cure, shows the direction of your next steps. If they don't
Just
have...
leaving a door open.
Right,
You
exactly.
don't want to leave open.
Right. So here you go, buyer rescission. Check this out. If a buyer receives a completed real estate condition report before he/she submits an offer to purchase, there will be no buyer rescission rights. Accordingly, it is recommended that sellers subject to Chapter 709 complete a real estate condition report as soon as possible. Get it up in front. How about this one? A buyer receives a real estate condition report that discloses a defect as defined in the real estate condition report. After the buyer submitted an offer to purchase, the buyer may rescind the contract. If a buyer receives a real estate condition that's incomplete,
Why would you not complete it?
because they're afraid to disclose, they're afraid to.
But doesn't that send up a flag?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Just complete it.
Yep.
People
Yep.
are going to ask questions because you didn't complete it. You don't want
Exactly.
to do that.
A buyer may not, however, rescind an offer or option based upon a defect disclosed in the real estate condition report, an amended real estate condition report, or an amendment to a previously completed real estate condition report if the buyer was aware or had written notice of the nature of that. So, yeah, there you go.
There is a lot to the real estate condition report, honestly. And if you're not, we say this, I think, every show, but if you're not working with a professional that can advise you as a listing agent if you want to sell your home, because this is could be a huge thing for you. You could lose a buyer, you could lose, like right now, let's say you have an accepted offer on something, I don't know, a few weeks ago even. That's how quickly the market has shifted.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it doesn't work out, and
No.
you have to start all over, put your house back on the market. You could have potentially lost
Sure.
thousands of dollars,
Thousands.
just because of the market shift.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a situation like that.
Exactly. Well, and here's the thing you need to know, folks. If you're working with a real estate agent to sell your house, and they don't feel like they have to come out to see your house to list it, get another agent. Because the law says, the statutes say that he or she has to actually physically view the property.
Well, yeah.
And, well, it happens all the time.
It
Oh my God.
does?
It happens all the time. Laziness.
What?
I call it malpractice. I'm not an attorney. I don't practice. I want to know.
I've not heard of this, and I
No.
hope I don't.
No.
Oh my goodness.
So here's the one that people get, and I'm going to jump to it real quick because it's as-is sales. So you're a seller and you think you're going to be very strategic in what you're doing it, and you want to use what's called an as-is clause, and because you don't want to do any work. You're not going to do any work. You're done. Here it is. What you need to know is that you're still required to disclose things that could harm somebody. That's a health or safety issue in there. And you're not required to fill out the real estate condition report. You're not required, and what happens is you put all the onus on the buyer to find out and to become aware. Man, I'm popular today. That they have to the entire process of finding out what's wrong with your house. Here's what you need to know. So you have an as-is situation. A buyer accepts that, comes in, they do a home inspection. Funding falls through. They've given you a copy of the home inspection. Now it has all the defects in there, and you are required, because you now have knowledge, to provide all that information, and it's going to force your hand anyway.
Yeah.
I love when agents go, no, we don't have to do that. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, because now you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, as an agent, it doesn't matter what side, I'm responsible to report all knowledge of defects that I know about. So if I walk in and there's a water standing in the basement, I might ask the question, do you have a problem with flooding often?
Do you plan to keep anything in your
No.
basement of value?
So I have to disclose that.
Wow.
I know.
So what I'm hearing is a home inspection is what, $350, $400?
Yeah, could be up more depending on the size of the house.
And if you want additional testing done, like radon or something like that. But
Right.
why would you not just get a home inspection
Up
when
front,
you list your home?
because they don't want to spend the money.
But it's like we talked about
Right.
at the beginning of the show,
Uh-huh.
and the $500
Sure.
to get an agreement in place
Mhm.
to protect yourself.
Mhm.
It pays off in spades.
Mhm.
Just do it. That way you
Well,
know.
again, it comes down to money. There's this idea of I'm selling my $500,000 home, and I want to spend $300 for a pre-inspection. They call
That
it.
makes no sense. No
I-
sense.
I will-
mean, and what does it say to buyers? Look at what I've done.
Exactly.
I got an inspection.
Not hiding
I noticed
anything.
These things came up, and I've already remedied them.
Right.
It just makes for a smoother transaction.
Right. Well, and here's the rest of that is here's my home inspection, and I've given permission to the home inspector to have a conversation with you about it.
Oh,
And then the home inspector, he may also set up a situation where, or permit it, the seller may permit this, that the home inspector comes in the house for $100 to walk through and show them exactly what he just was talking about.
because
$100
we just did
to-
it, but
Exactly.
less time.
Right.
Yeah,
I think it's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's valuable, but,
for sure.
so it's...
I don't think it's a bad, even if you're not selling your home, I don't think it's a bad idea to get a home inspection done.
No, I don't either.
A lot of them have like the thermal technology now. So if you're wanting to know, if you want to cut down on your utility bills, your heating over the winter, whatever it is, they can identify where
Sure.
there's energy gaps.
Yeah.
So why not? It's really not that much money, and you'll know more about the health of your home.
Right, exactly. So if you're selling your house in today's market and you're buying a house without doing an inspection, really look at that condition report. And then after you buy it, look at it again. Once you get in there and you're in there living in it, I want you to go back and review that real estate condition report. The biggest part of litigation is coming from a condition report that was not accurately and correctly completed. And so you do have rights that you need to talk to an attorney about that. And
A
but
real estate attorney?
real estate attorney especially. Real estate attorney especially. Did we say real estate attorney especially?
so, a couple
okay,
times, yeah.
Good. Hey, that was a lot of information today. I hope it was good information for you. I hope that if you're going to buy a house and you're not married, you have that agreement in place. If you're not married and you're splitting up and you're selling it, do it nicely. Get through that transaction. Work on it together.
Golden rule.
Exactly. If there's something that Laura and I can do to help you with that process, do not hesitate to reach out. There's no obligation. We can answer any question that you may have. And if we can't, we'll get you the answer on this. And then lastly, if you're selling your house, disclose, 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 because that's the way to do it. Be upfront. Be honest about it. People just want to know about your house, and that will cover your butt. That's CYA.
It is.
Sun Prairie, have a great Wednesday. See you tonight at the parade. We'll be out there. Yell at us, throw some candy, all that stuff as
Not
you're walking
at
by.
us, to us.
Oh, to us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a
to us.
difference.
I tell you. Have a great Wednesday, and go Cards, go Wolves.
Go Cards.
Bye now. Bye, Sun Prairie.
Bye,
See you
Sun
next
Prairie.
week.
See
Right
you
here.
tonight.
See you tonight, but see you right back here on the radio. Bye, Sun Prairie.
Bye. Woo!
Oh, we're still on Facebook. Oh my God.
I'm not going to say anything naughty.
That was a lot of information.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry. Probably too much information. It's probably overwhelming people, but the condition
Really
report.
important stuff, though.
All right. Hey, Facebook, while you're on here, I got to go to Studio 2. There.
Two.
Yeah, I got it. That real estate condition report is so valuable, and you really need to review it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're a real estate agent out there and you're watching this, if you see something, then ask about it. That'll cover your behind too, because if there's water in the basement and you didn't disclose it, when the seller doesn't disclose it, then your license is in jeopardy. So hang in there, follow the rules, answer the questions, and everybody will be doing great. Facebook, see you later, and see you at Corn Fest.